Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and gamers around the world. This is Santa, your host, and this is the third day of Vodafone Play Talks. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest to you. It's Nedim Baytorun, the Consumer Business Unit Director for Vodafone Romania. How are you doing, Nedim?
Great. Thanks for having me today in this great environment.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure.
We are curious, of course, about the whole context of the World Esports Championship, but we are going to take it more on the communication side.
Yeah.
You are in a very important leadership position in one of the leading communications companies in the world. How did you come across esports?
Okay, so maybe I take it from a more personal angle. It was, I think, eight years ago, I was working for youth community to understand really the youth in a different geography, I have to say, and we were doing a lot of this passion point researches to really understand what youth really cares about. And at that moment our big bet was music, so we were investing a lot on music to really support the talent of the youth and to give them the right opportunity to shine, to really grow on their talent. But then when the research came, a new concept came across me, which was called esports and gaming, and I was like, what's this esports thing? Can someone explain me? And I had an amazing team at that moment, and they said, you know what? Instead of explaining you what it is, why don't we show you what it is? And I said, okay. They said the country finals are happening in a week, and we want to take you to a country finals game. I said, okay. So on a Saturday, they said, yeah, but you have to be ready very early because the traffic will be blocked. I mean, what do you mean it will be blocked? What's that? They took me very early, and on the way to the stadium, it was a basketball arena. Literally, the whole roads were blocked from the crowd. And when I entered, 18,000 kids in a basketball arena, fully packed, for I think 3 hours or 4 hours, cheering for two teams for the championship. And when I saw that, I said, okay, this is something. And that's how it started. And then my learning desire really grew. I learned a lot. The more I learned, the more I engaged. So I'm not a gamer. I wouldn't call myself a gamer, but I'm a true supporter and enjoyer of this whole esports and gaming right now.
Are you comfortable with saying that you're a fan of esports
Yes.
and what's happening over here in Iași?
Yes, definitely, yes. I would say I'm well trained. I listen a lot my young colleagues about training me, teaching me what really these things is about, all the new games, the rules and everything. So I'm very into it.
I'm really glad to hear that, and we have been bringing up a lot of positive things that have been happening at this event so far. From your point of view, what do you think it's esports right now biggest strength towards the community?
Yeah. So I think that's a very important point, because youth had and from in the time had many passion points, but about esports and gaming there's something very different than the others, which is it having no boundaries. Like, this is very important. I'll give you one example. Right now, the idea is so crazy that a guy from Târgoviște can tonight have a game with a guy from Seoul. This idea is crazy. So no boundaries. You don't depend on the geographical conditions, no matter what. If you have a good connection, if you have a talent, if you're on the right platform, you can have it. The other thing, I think, unlike many other sports, I have to say, I admire the sportsmanship, the ethics part, and the diversity of it. So definitely gender diversity, and actually it's more skewing to female than male, which is, I really like it. The other thing, now let's go out and watch the finals. Two teams, but the spectators, they sit together, they cheer together. And sadly, you cannot see this in many sports events, but here it is like this. So I think it's the sportsmanship is much more fair here. So these are for me the real things. And the last thing I would say, as I said, if you have talent, if you're really committed into if you have the passion, you can really strive in esports. The blocking parts are less. It's easier, I would say, than the other sports. So all these, I think, make it such a big deal right now, a big passion among youth.
Definitely, passion is one of the main criteria towards this, but also infrastructure to support your passion, right?
So, I mean, look, I would call it a community as the esports, and there are many things that you have to build the community on. But for me, the most important part is the backbone, the infrastructure, and there are a couple of things. More on the technical front, I have to say, definitely a couple of things. The number one is the network. I mean, rule number one, you really need to have a fast and reliable network on that. And this, as Vodafone, what we really believe in, this is our role in this whole equation. We give a reliable and fast network to our players, to the people who are really passionate about that. Even today in this World Championship, we are super proud with how we are putting our contribution to this amazing event. The other thing on the foundation part, on the backbone, is about hardware. That's also super critical on that. And here we also know that we have a clear role here to make sure we create the right opportunities for the talented people to have the right access to the right hardware on that. And we are doing a lot of activations on that. We have the new platform called EasyTag, which is all about enabling the right people to approach the right hardware with the right financing mechanisms to move forward on that. So for me, this is more the technical front, and the other part is more on the social part, on the ethics part, on the diversity part. So, and there we are also super committed, because this ecosystem has to grow in a purpose-led way. It should definitely contribute to the society, to the youth community. So it's not just about commercially growing. It has to grow in a very healthy way, I have to say. So for me, these are the two very key principles to have the right foundations to grow the ecosystem in Romania.
Right. You are a first-hand witness of the passion of players, of the youth that is upbringing right now in our country. But for you, what led the passion towards video games in the beginning? I remember you telling me about all the people that you saw in the basketball arena, right? But what was it, the main flame for you?
I think when I had, because in that day, after the game, when I said I want to meet with some spectators just to understand really what is this, what they really care about. And when I saw the sparkle in their eyes, the passion in that, they truly believe in this. They are truly into it, and it's an emotional bonding, and it's not like a flag. It's like it's something that's really deep inside, that really links to what they want to achieve and try in the future. So when I saw that, my point was, we have to make sure we support them in a right way in this passion, so they thrive and they have the right opportunities. So it's not like left to some, I would say, more opportunistic partners, let's put it this way, that it's growing on a healthy pace.
Right. You're a promoter of opportunities as well for people that want to bring their foot into esports. Now, in Romania, we've starting to see more and more of this.
Yes.
But compared to other countries, compared to Turkey, for example, there's also a cultural movement towards esports in Turkey, and it's well established.
Yeah.
What could we take from Turkey?
So, yes, I was super lucky. I think I witnessed the early stages of this this ecosystem's development over there. And a few things that I can share is, by luck or purposefully, right partners were around the table. So first of all, it's a teamwork. It's a partnership. It's like if there is a brand that has the desire to be the brand, that's a very wrong expectation. So you have to make sure that you're a natural part of this community, and it doesn't belong to a single entity. So, and in Turkey, somehow this balance was very healthy. So there were the right private companies, like Vodafone, like some financial institutions, and the gaming companies. But on top of that, there were the right key opinion leaders, some from the government angles, but some from other sports communities. There were right investors who were not there for short-term wins, but who were committed for longer-term investments. And the last angle was the youth. So they were there with a lot of passion and commitment. So somehow, as I said, I don't know, by luck or on purpose, this chemistry worked. And when everybody was on this table with less personal objectives, but more like a purposeful objective, a united objective, then things really accelerated on that. And I think now, I mean, for the last 5 years, I'm watching it remotely, what's happening over there, but with a lot of pride. I still have a lot of connections and friends there, and I'm hearing what's happening there. So I'm very proud of how they're striving. Now, coming here, I see the same opportunity. I feel like here we are a few years behind, which is a good thing, I have to say. But if we play it right way, with right partners, with right brands, with right investors, teams, and everything, and authorities, I would say, then I think Romania has a huge potential to be one of the key players in the whole esports industry.
I have a fun one now.
Yes, tell me.
For you. If you were to lead your own esports club,
Yes.
how would you build that and around what? How would it look for you?
So first, it's a huge commitment, and I'm not there by any means. I have to say, I have huge respect on this team owners. I know how complex that is, but from all the observations that I've seen in the last, let's say, 8 years, because I saw many things that really worked well, but also I saw a lot of things that really failed really bad on that. So the 3 things I would say, the first one is you have to define your purpose well. So you have to start with the why. So why do you want to start an esports team? What is your purpose, and what would make you exist in the community? You have to be very clear about that. Otherwise you'll be one of the others, and eventually you will disappear. For me, the second part is about the right partnerships. So if you think that you can do it alone, because it's not a matter of financial funding, it's much more complex than just the financials. So you have to make sure you have the right partners together on that. So you have to leave your egos on the side. You have to be hand in hand with the right people to form a team. And I would say the third part is about talent management. So you're working with young people here, and it's not just about living in a game house, practicing 5-6 hours a day. There's a lot of psychology behind it. So there's a lot of coaching behind it. It's not just physical, it's physical coaching, it's mental coaching at the same time. So the good teams that are really striving are the ones who really don't underestimate that part. Like the good teams have psychological coaches, like mental coaches that really work with the teams every day. So that's the third thing for me, the talent. So the first one is the purpose, second one, right partners, and third one is the talent management.
I think if teams could pick up on that, and I'm sure some of them already did, but it's really hard to come together to a synergy of 3, as you have described.
Yeah.
We know Vodafone is a supporter of esports, right? It has been for a while.
Yeah.
And you are prone to showcase that we can do it if there's enough passion and enough strive in it.
Yeah.
What would you say to the skepticals out there that are not aware of where you are right now and what you have done so far for esports?
Skepticals in terms of the
Esports in general and investing towards esports.
So, look, it depends on the target group that you want to engage with, I have to say. If you really want to engage with the younger community, by the way, the definition of the youth is changing. So it's now expanding, I have to say, as they say, 40s and 30 now. So the gamer definition is changing. But if you really want to engage with the, let's say, the younger population, you have to understand what they care about. And esports is one of it. But the point is, it's not about just putting a sponsorship there or putting your logo there. It's more complex than that. I mean, as Vodafone, since 2019 we are investing in esports in Romania. in other countries even older, right? We sponsored more than 30 major events. We have sponsored all this Good Game League, where our purpose is really about ethics, diversity, and transparency. So growing this community in a very healthy way. But you really need to define your role, why you exist, because this community is very smart. So they need to see your value add to accept you, to welcome you in them. So that's why for us, we are very clear about how we can contribute. Our network. We have a state-of-art giga network here with now our fiber network and our 5G investments. And we are very proud of it. It's certified, so reliable and fast network is very critical. By the way, this reliable angle is very important, because when you are a gamer, speed is important, but as much as speed, it's the reliability. Because you're talking about a game that maybe lasts 3-4 hours, so there cannot be a glitch in the connection. And this is where we are very, very proud and confident. But also now in this hardware support, as I said, with our EasyTech platform, we care about financing. So with 24-month installment, 36-month installment with zero interest, this is our role in this community. I think they are well accepting us, they are listening us. So if you're interested as a company, understand the community, understand the insights, the need. Once you understand the insights and the needs, you can see if you really have a clear role there, if you can really add a value there. And once you crack it, then it's a smooth ride.
There's a recipe. There's a recipe right there. Talking about services, right?
Yes.
In general, which sort of elements would you think are best advertised through gaming? Is it conventional products? Is it services in general towards what Vodafone is already offering? What is it? What's best advertised through gaming?
I mean, there are many angles. So the needs of this community is a lot. So I think we talked about the network and the hardware for sure. But there are many other needs on top of that, like more value-added services during the gaming. For example, the digital finance part, the digital payments angle is also a very important angle on that. So it's I would say a limitless opportunities there, and every day, every month, new needs are emerging. So you have to really keep fresh, and to really understand and to adapt yourself according to the changing needs of the community.
Right. What sort of advice you would have for a member of the younger generation that wants to start their career in gaming, as a general advice for somebody who would strive for that?
Yeah. So I think another very good point of gaming is the career opportunities are limitless. So yes, you can have a career as a gamer, no brainer, if you have because it also depends on talent and the commitment on that. It's not easy. Like we're talking about 7-8 hours of practice a day, and there's a lot of this mental and physical collaboration, all that. But it's not limited to the gamer profession. You can always be a team coach. You can be a kind of a team investor. You can be a broadcaster. I mean, there are amazing talents now growing on the broadcasting part of this industry. You can always be more an innovator that works with companies like us. Like I'm very openly saying that I am looking for talent approach to us to kind of invent for gamers community. We would be super committed to work for them. So for me, my number one advice is make sure there are many different opportunities. So don't demotivate yourself if you fail in one thing. So you might try to be a gamer, but you might fail there. That's okay. But you might be a great coach. You might fail there. You might be a great broadcaster. Right. You might fail there. You might be a great invention guy for companies that want to be in this community. So there are many opportunities. Don't give up. If you have the passion, keep pushing is what I would say.
You got me right on the spot there because I tried to be a gamer. I failed at that. I'm not so good. I'm not so good at that. And then I came towards broadcasting and I did that
See?
for a while. So your example
Yeah.
is right on the spot.
And I have to say one more thing there. One thing I was super impressed when I got to know the Romania esports industry is that although I said that it's still in the early stages of development, in a very exciting stage, there are amazing talents that are already big names in the global arena. Both as gamers, but also as like broadcasters, and recently some team investors. So I'm super impressed by the Romanian talents that start to make name in the global arena.
Definitely. We have, in the last few years, we have seen more and more. We
Yeah.
actually have some of them present here at the event.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you already know that. And I think this is going to come to us as being accustomed more and more with talent that is present in the outer Romania and
Yeah.
in the Occident and in other parts of where the gaming is stronger probably than in the
Mhm.
local country.
Mhm.
And of players in the market like Vodafone are sponsoring that and are helping people getting towards that goal. Now, in a closing argument, in a closing
Yeah.
question, do you believe gaming has a bright future in Romania? Because I've mentioned internationally, and we know Romania has been a scene where, of course, talent is a lot. But do you think that Romania has a bright future, and are we on track?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, with confidence, and I'm not just saying it to motivate the community. I'm saying this as I witnessed in another geography how these things evolved. So I truly believe in Romania, we as this community are in the right path regarding talent, regarding the right brands coming together, regarding this community formation. I'm super impressed. I mean, this world championship that we are witnessing here, and the best thing is this is not the first one, this is the second one happening in Romania. And the audience, I mean, 700 players coming from all across the world. This is amazing. So for sure, Romania is in the right way. Now, we shouldn't relax on that. We are in the right way, but we have to play the game in the right direction. So as I said at the beginning, for me, what's very important for us is the diversity angle, the ethics part, the transparency of that. It has to be like we have to keep building on the strong foundations. And if we do it right, if we as the companies, as the brands, one of which is us as Vodafone, and like with the other brands and the other organizations, if we come together right, if everybody leaves their key objectives aside and really think for the whole community, I think the Romanian esports, we will see Romania in the major platforms big time in the coming years.
We are big believers in that as well. Nedim, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
insights and all the advice you've given us so far right
Pleasure.
now. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah, let me go there and now watch some games.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
This has been your host, Santa. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be back with more guests for you at Vodafone Play Talks.